Welcome to Time with AB.
This is a continuation of the video I did earlier on relations, mapping, and functions. So if you've not watched that video, kindly go and watch. In linear mapping, we were making use of the common difference, but in exponential mapping, the ratio between consecutive elements in the codomain is used. The rule for an exponential mapping with elements in the domain denoted by x and element in the codomain denoted by y is given by y is equal to AR exponent x minus b, where our a and b are constants, and then our a is the first term of the element in the codomain, b being the first term of the element in the domain, and then our r is the common ratio of the element in the codomain. Now let's solve these questions. Let's state our rule for exponential mapping, and it's giving us y is equal to AR exponent x minus b. Let's find the value for a. A is the first term in the codomain. In this case, we have our codomain here. Now, what is the first term here? That is 1. So, the first term in our domain is the value for b. This is our domain. Which number is the first term? And it is here. And that is also 1, the common ratio. Now, before I explain how to get a common ratio, let's revise what we did on linear mapping. On linear mapping, we said that we had to check the difference in the codomain. So 4 minus 1, we had 3, 16 minus 4. Now we realized that in linear mapping, it was constant throughout. So if we were to get 3 here, we'll get 3 throughout. But with exponential mapping, it's not like that. So it differs. Now let's check to see. 4 minus 1 is now 3. Then 16 minus 4 is 12. So you can see that there are differences. It's not constant. So this is an exponential mapping. Now, for us to get a common ratio, this is what we do. Let's take the second term and divide by the first term. Now, if we divide the second term by the first term, we are getting 4. The same way, let's take the third term and divide by the fourth term. Now, let's take the fourth term and divide by the third term. We're getting a constant number, and that constant number is what we term as the common ratio. Don't jump terms when you are dividing. Don't divide the third by the first. Neither should you divide the fourth by the second. Make sure you are dividing with the closest term. Now we can substitute them in the equation. So now we can say that our y is equal to, the value for a is 1 times the value for r, which is 4, exponent x minus the value for b. So this is our rule for the mapping. We can check to see if the rule actually satisfies the mapping. When x is equal to 1, what happens? Our y will be equal to 4 exponent. Now our x is 1 minus 1. So y is equal to 4 exponent. 1 minus 1 is 0. And we know that any number exponent 0 is equal to 1. So hence our y value is 1. Functions. A function is a mapping in which each element in the domain is mapped onto one and only one member in the codomain. So functions are defined by a rule or a formula. Now a function of x is written as f is to x, or f into bracket x. We are to find the image of minus 1 under f of x is equal to minus s cubed plus 3x minus 5. So when you see f of x, what does this really mean? It means that there is a particular function, and that function is f, which contains the values x or the variables x. So there is a function that contains a variable. Given the image in the question, our x value is now minus 1, and that is the image. So this can be written as f of minus 1 is equal to, now what it means is that anywhere you see x, replace it with minus 1. That is the image. So anywhere you see x in the equation or in the rule, replace it with minus 1, which is the image. So in this case, our rule becomes minus 1 So minus 1, yeah, plus 3 minus 1 minus 5. What if I told you the image is 1 and we have the same rule, which is f of x is equal to minus x plus 3x minus 5. Now pause the video and solve it. So this is the image. I believe you got the same answer. Well done. F of x being or mapping to 2x minus 3, and then we've been given the range of numbers, which is known as the domain. So we have minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, and 2. What we do is that we put each term or each value in the equation as our image. So let's solve for the first value. Now if minus 2 is our image, what will be our f of x? So if f of minus 2 is given, then 2 now in word problem is the same as equal to, so 2x plus 5 is 15. To solve this, our equation is 2x plus 5 is equal to 15. We'll find the value of x, and this is the function is undefined when the denominator is equal to 0. So for instance, we have a function f of x is equal to x plus 2 over x plus 3. Now this function is undefined when this denominator is equal to 0. How? Now 2 over 0, any number over 0 is undefined. Equate the denominator to 0 so that we get 0 here for the function to be undefined. If that is the case, then our x plus 3 is equal to 0. So if we are to put minus 3 at where x is, it will make this function undefined. So the inverse of x is equal to 3x plus 2. Now first thing we are supposed to do is that change this to y. So y is equal to 3x plus 2. Interchange x and y variables, so that make y the subject of the function. Finally, we replace y by f inverse. So f inverse of x is equal to x minus 2 over 3.